Okay. All right, all right. I'm gonna get this show started. It's already 5:02, 2 minutes late. How you guys doing? This is EB Crypto, Eric Brent, Family Cash Machine, Follow the Money. And today we're gonna talk about, I didn't want to cover this subject at first, but I saw a link in between money and this whole incident. So this is why I chose the name Family Cash Machine, because in essence, the Family Cash Machine represents a a system, because a machine is something that's automatic, it's something that's autonomous. It creates this motion automatic. And so when we thought about generational wealth, we thought about creating it in your family. Okay. Generational wealth is just that, it's generation. So we all know what family means, and we all know what cash means, or income, or revenue. So Family Cash Machine is a organization that's dedicated to showing people how to start being the first one in their families on that path of generational wealth, or if not, you being the first one. Now, Follow the Money came behind the notion that most of your current events that happen, it's about money. Most of your historical events, the narratives that they told us in history are not accurate. And most of it has something to do with money. So, in my perspective, if you follow the money, you'll find a whole different narrative in current events as well as historical events. So, we're going to get right into it. I'm listening to this stuff on the media. I was actually at the hospital with my mom when this event happened. I'm on TikTok and the news flash came up that Donald Trump got shot. And so I wasn't that surprised because he's very radical, and it's not about Democrat. This video here is not about Democrat. It's not about Republican. It's not about who I support. this video here is about democracy. This video here is about the truth. We want to talk about the truth of the matter, what really happened and why this happened. So when things happen like this, they always want to try to minimalize it to uh, an isolated situation where some crazy guy just did something crazy. But I'm telling you guys, it's a lot deeper than that. And like Public Enemy says, don't believe the hype. Don't believe that hype. Don't believe that because the propaganda machines are spinning to detract people and to sway you away from what really is going on in the world. So we're going to dig into it a little bit because as I look deeper into this, it just didn't make sense to me. So let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to share a few slides with you guys, and we're going to kind of look at the situation. I want to first look at the actual location. Let's look at the location as the Secret Service designed their parameters. Now, we all know whenever there's an event, I remember when Mandela came to Los Angeles back in the 90s. And he came in a motorcade down the Los Angeles 110 freeway. Anybody knows the 110 freeway? It goes straight downtown Los Angeles. And I was coming from Pasadena, so I was on the 110 freeway going south. He's going north. The entire freeway was shut down. Nobody was on the freeway going north, which is the direction he was going. That whole freeway was shut down. So we had Secret Service, and his security team, of course, and nobody was allowed to even be on that freeway, period. So we all know when there is a presidential speech, whenever there's a speech in an open area, and not just an open area, even in arenas, the Secret Service, the police department, all these different agencies, Homeland Security, they go out and they case the place. They look at the place and they look at different potential threats or open areas where it's not secure, and they secure those areas. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you right quick and share with you from my perspective. It's just my opinion, okay? And I'm going to share with you guys, first of all, my perspective of what went down. Now, this, if you guys can see this, this is what they call a Pac-Man perimeter. Now, this is not me. This is the Secret Service. This is what they designed out on this whole situation. They call this the Pac-Man perimeter. And you know what? I think I want to, let me see if I can just go do something different here. 1 second, you guys. I want to record this as well. So give me a minute here. I don't see too many. Let me see. Let me record this because I think this needs to be recorded. Progress. Okay, I'm going to stop the share for a minute here. I want to go and share this differently. I want to play my whole, there it is. I'm going to share it again. And you guys are going to see what they call this Pac-Man perimeter that the CIA or the Secret Service or whoever, they set this perimeter up. And they call it a Pac-Man. And I'm going to show you why. Now you guys can see it better now. Okay, you see the circle? It actually looks like a Pac-Man. So as you look at this perimeter, you can see, okay, this is the rooftop over here that the so-called shooter was coming from, over here on this rooftop over here. Hold up, let me go back. I'm sorry. Let me go back. There it is. So the shooter, it says it right here, location of suspected gunman was right over here on this rooftop over here. Now I'm looking at, this is where Trump was speaking. Where was Trump speaking? Here's the bleachers. This is where Trump was speaking right here. This is the stage. And look at that parameter. Look at how close he is. He's within 160 yards, which any sniper could pick him off from that range. Now, he had a rifle from this range. Now, look at all of these rooftops. Here's a rooftop here where the law enforcement snipers were, or the special services or Secret Service. They were here. This guy's here. Okay, now look at these other rooftops. Where did I go? What happened? Okay, these other rooftops here, I gotta be careful. It's just, these rooftops were not covered in that parameter. Okay, now this water, whatever this is, a water tank here was not covered. This was not covered in the parameter. That's a perfect, that's about a 400 yard distance from the, which is still a distance where you can be sniped. A sniper will tell you they can snipe someone from 400 yards out. This is 160 yards out. Now I'm noticing they got this circle. They call this the Secret Service security bubble. Well, in my definition of a bubble, it's round, totally round. That's a bubble. Bubbles don't have dents in it and shake like Pac-Man. Why would they cut out this section here? Who knows why they would cut that section out and not complete the full circle? And even if they did complete the full circle, it wouldn't have encompassed these roofings here. These rooftops here are totally exposed. Now, the media is telling us that these rooftops were occupied by police forces or police for certain training and stuff like that. So it still don't make sense. So you're telling me that these buildings were occupied by local police and he was able to climb on the roof? It's still not making sense. So let's go to the next slide. Here is a picture of the guy and people pointing him out before the shooting. He was noticed about 20, 30 minutes before the shooting. He was noticed. And here he is crawling up the roof with a rifle. And there's video footage of people calling the law enforcement, showing law enforcement, hey, this guy's crawling on the roof. They even pointed it out to the Secret Service. Nothing happened. Go figure. Now, here's the rooftop right here. But look how much space this is. How much space up here for people to be able to shoot at the former president? This was not covered. Now, you can see the police cars down here. You see 2 police cars down here, 3, 4. They said that they were using these locations as some type of training or something for the police, local police. But again, he crawled on the rooftop of law enforcement. Go figure. It's not making no sense. Now, I'm not a person that's a conspiracy theorist. They always want to label people who use common sense as conspiracy theorists. They always want to label individuals who use common sense. I do my own research. I look at all the facts. This is why I didn't do any video right away, because I wanted to look at the facts. I wanted to actually examine it for myself. And after examining it for myself, I already knew why they did this attempt on him, but I wanted to weigh out the facts and look at everything. But I have my own opinions as to why this assassination attempt was done on this particular former president, soon to be new president. And it's all tying into what I study, which is money. So let's go back into the slides. Let me share some more slides with you because it's going to get real good here in a minute. Let's go back into the slides. Let me go back into these slides. Okay, now we still here. Thank God we went back here. So boom. So look. So this is a slope rooftop. So to my understanding, he was crawling up this slope. And when you see these angles, it's going to be really difficult for him to make that shot. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Now here's the rooftop. Look how close that is to the speaker. Look at how close that is. Now, why wouldn't the CIA, the Homeland Security, the local police, or the Secret Service think that this is not a compromised point? This should have been covered. This is a very compromised point. This is where the shooter was. Now, you see how that thing slopes? I'm trying to figure out with that slope, how did he make a shot? Now, I believe Donald Trump got shot in his, what ear? Was it his right ear? So this would be his right side. So how did he get shot? I'm trying to figure this out on this ear over here on the opposite side of the shooter. Now I know he did turn his head. I remember he turned his head, and from the back, I can't really pinpoint which way he turned. But looking at him from the front, he turned this way and talked to the audience, you know. And so I'm still trying to figure out how he get hit from this side if he turned to his right, coming from that angle. That's not making sense at all. So you look at it for yourself. You see that angle? That's an angle. And not only is it an angle, he's going up. He's on a slope. So how did he make that shot to the opposite side of the ear? See, this is the stuff the media not showing you guys. This is not making no sense. Okay? Now let's go a little further. I want you guys to really look at that angle. Even if he would have turned to the right, then his left ear would have been pierced. He turned to the right, and his right ear was pierced. Okay? I seen the video. He turned to the right, and his right ear is pierced. How do you make that? How's that angle? What the bullet do? A curve? Come around? Come on now. Something ain't adding up. Something not adding up here. Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys these points. These are points right here. All these bubbles represent Secret Service snipers. But this one where the flag is at, that's where the sniper was at. The sniper was right here where that flag is at. Now, these are the shooters that we saw in the Secret Service that had a clear shot at him for over 3 minutes. Over 3 minutes, they had a clear shot. They saw him in their scope for over 3 minutes and didn't make a shot. Now, me being on a Air Force base for 3 years, Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, whenever they had a bomb movement, they have snipers everywhere. And you can't move on the Air Force base or you'll get shot, period, because they're moving nuclear bombs. So when they have bomb movements on the Air Force base, any movement, you might get shot. And so how is it this guy moving around on the roof, crawling on the roof with a rifle? They had him in plain view for over 3 minutes. And I'm going to show you a picture of this Secret Service on the roof looking at the guy. And if you watch the video, they looked at him through the telescope, then they came up. And then after he shot, then they went back in and shot him. Like, why you didn't make that shot at first? Now, some people might argue, well, they might not have saw the weapon, and that's why they didn't make the shot. But come on now. It looks awfully suspicious. You on a rooftop in close proximity to the former president while he's making a speech. What you doing on the rooftop? And if he would have got shot, I don't think anybody would have complained about it, because you can't be on the rooftop doing a presidential speech that close in proximity while the president is speaking. This is ridiculous. Now they had shooters here, snipers. There's snipers over here. Now you don't think these snipers had clear view of this guy here crawling on the roof? And these snipers right here, just 2 roofs away, they had clear vision of this guy. And even this sniper here had clear vision of this guy. This is the closest one. What the hell was they looking at? This is not adding up at all. This is looking very suspicious. And again, to diffuse what I'm saying, people to throw the conspiracy theorist attitude at what I'm saying to diffuse and just discredit what I'm saying. I'm only speaking common sense. Come on now. I'm talking common sense. I'm not talking no conspiracy. I'm looking at the facts. And the facts ain't adding up. It's just not adding up. Okay? These guys are trained, military, trained snipers. They're trained to shoot any odd movements, any odd motions. They're trained to shoot any odd behavior. And a guy crawling on a roof is odd behavior. Obviously, it was odd behavior. We see what he did. So again, this is the aerial view where the snipers were. There's 3 different snipers located for the Secret Service, and then one over here where the flag is represents where the shooter was. Now look at his clean view to the podium. The podium is this little blue and red and white right here. Look at that clean shot he got. He got a good shot, but again, like I told you, that's that angle again. How did he hit the right ear from that angle? If he's on the left, pretty much coming from the left side, I mean, it's not making sense. I'm not going to dispute that because I haven't been at the location, but based on the pictures and the footage, it's not making sense. Now, again, I haven't been at the location to see everything, but just based on the pictures they're presenting, it's not making sense. Now, here's a picture of the shooters, the actual Secret Service. You see how they set up? And this one guy right here, I believe he got fired. One of these guys got fired, but They claim that they spotted the shooter 3 minutes before and called it in, and they were told to halt. Don't take the shot. And any person that's a trained sniper will tell you within seconds they're trained to take that shot if it looks suspicious. And that was definitely suspicious, this guy on the roof. And you see the rooftops are slope, but they got, those stands and stuff. He didn't have a stand. He was laying down. They got stands and stuff. So he was laying down. The other guy, the shooter, but this guy here on video looked through his telescope, his little scope, saw him. Then he came up and didn't shoot until the shooter shot. So it's just a lot of inconsistencies here. Now let's look at the shooter. Let's look at this guy. His name is Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20 years old. This is a new development here. Crooks was seen twice by the police officers 26 minutes before wounding the former president and killing one of the audience members. He was seen 26 minutes before. And the police called in a strange suspect that they were looking for before the shooting. There's also video footage of several people that saw him crawling up the roof. You can go and Google this on YouTube. And they pointing him out, and they calling the police. They pointing the police at this guy. They pointing the Secret Service at this guy, and nobody doing nothing. So one source took a photo of Crook on the roof and sent it to the authorities at 5:45. The shooting didn't happen till 6:11. So you're looking at something like 30 minutes, which kind of go in consistency with this 26-minute thing. Somebody called it in to the authorities, said, hey, it's a strange guy on the roof. And nothing happened for 30 minutes. It took 30 minutes to respond when you got a police station right there close. You got Secret Service all over the place. It's just not making sense at all to me. I'm sorry. This is not adding up. Okay. Now, this right here really makes it even more strange. This guy graduated in 2022, Matthew Crooks. He was featured on a BlackRock advertisement. Listen, BlackRock pulled the video down and denounced Crooks. So I'm going to show you guys the video right now. Let me close this out, and I'm going to show you guys the video of Crooks in this video that BlackRock did. Now, anybody know who BlackRock is? BlackRock is the largest hedge fund conglomerate in the world. They got over $12 trillion in assets. Everything you find in any industry you look behind, the music industry, the record industry, the pharmaceutical industry, BlackRock is involved in every single major industry, even real estate. They're involved in banking. They're involved in everything. They're the ones that got the first Bitcoin ETF approved through Wall Street. BlackRock is in the middle of every financial endeavor in the world, not just in the country, in the world. Okay? So this guy was in an advertisement for BlackRock. Let me show you guys the video I found today that Matthew Crooks was on an advertising video at his high school that was sponsored by BlackRock. Woo, this is interesting. This gets deep right here. So let me share that with you. Let me see how I'm going to share that. I think I'll just share my screen with you guys. Boom. And then I'll go here and close this out a little bit so we can go to that video in that. Let's go to this video, and I'll come back to the slides in a minute. Bear with me, you guys. Bear with me. We own to something. We own to something right here. We own to something. So now I'm going to share with you guys this video that I found that this guy is on. Here it is right here. Boom. Now, let me share. Oh, you know what? I got to share my sound with you guys as well. Let me share my sound so you can hear this video. Okay? Share sound right here. So you guys can hear this video, which is an advertisement that got the guy in it.
Is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors economics in
There
Pittsburgh.
Let me go back. Hold up. That's the guy right there.
Is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and honors.
There he is. That's the shooter. He's in an advertisement video that BlackRock sponsored. Interesting. Now, I'm not saying BlackRock is involved in the shooting. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this guy got connections. For him to be in this video, this advertisement that BlackRock sponsored, he's connected. Trust me. He's got some other affiliations going on here. He's not just the average guy that you guys think he's just an average student. He's connected somewhere. Okay, let's finish this video.
Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do.
BlackRock manages retirement plan assets for over a third of U.S. public schools teachers. Now, this video was done in 2022. He graduated. No, excuse me. He graduated in 22. This video was done in 2023. Okay? He graduated in 22. Again, like I said, he has some contact somewhere to be in this BlackRock advertisement video for public schools.
I hope when I retire someday, they say that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
There he is. That's the shooter again in the BlackRock advertised video. I told you guys, this is about money. I'm going to get to the bottom of this in a minute. I'm just kind of like tying in some loopholes and showing you different things they're not showing on the media. The media is all a part of the cover-up. It is what it is. They're not sharing everything with the public. There's the guy right there who's the shooter. That's Market, or what's his name? Thomas Matthews Crooks. That's him right there. In an advertising video for BlackRock. Average guy? He's just an average guy, right? No, he's not just an average student. He's got connections. Trust
me. And gave as much as he could to help the community.
Invested in the future. BlackRock. There it is right there. I can't make this stuff up, y'all. I did my research. That's the guy right there in the BlackRock video. I researched this as much as I could. I'm not going to go too much deep into it because I already know what this is all about. It's about money, okay? It's about money. Follow the money and you'll find the real narrative of what's going on. So that guy here is in a BlackRock advertisement. And they want you to believe he's just an average 20-year-old kid. Okay, keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. And if you think something other than that, then you're a conspiracy theorist. When all we're doing is noting common sense. Common sense will tell you this guy is more than just a 20-year-old kid, you know, that just randomly just did something crazy. This all got a funny smell to it all day. Just on the pictures I'm sharing with you, this all got a funny smell to it. So let me go ahead and share, again, some more slides, just a few more slides, and we're going to get down to the real reason why they did this, okay? Let's go back. Let's go back. Where was I at? I was here. I think I was here. Let me go to the slideshow, and we're going to start from the current slide right here. You see this? You see the snipers? I mean, they were right within a few. I mean, probably about 50 yards from this guy. It was really close. They was on one of those buildings that I showed you. Let me go back and show you the building they was on. They was on one of these buildings right here. I believe one of these, or right here. They were that close to the guy. Okay, see the slopes, roofs? They was over here somewhere. So the guy was over here. Again, like I said, you had some type of police activity going on in this building that he crawled up. He crawled up a building that had some police authority training or something. So I don't know how he did that. But again, we're going to look at the building here again. Look at it from here. Look how close that is to the former president. And again, like I said, this is not about promoting Trump. This is not about slamming the Democrats. This is not a political video. This is a video for us as Americans to look at the deficiencies in the story, as well as the real reasons why they would want this guy dead. This is what this is about. This is about us getting down to the facts, not what they're telling you on the media, but this is about us examining how did they make this many mistakes? The Secret Service? For real? It's not making sense to me. It's just not making sense, the whole story. And when something doesn't make sense to me, I start researching. I start investigating. I want to get the narrative. I want to understand exactly, what they're telling me and what the facts show. And the facts are not making sense at all. Okay. So that's the guy right there that I just showed you in a video. He was in a video advertisement for BlackRock. Wow. BlackRock? Are you serious? and you guys want me to think that this was just a random act? Okay, now I showed you guys that, and this is the link. You guys can go and watch that video yourself. You can write that link down, or you can just Google. You can Google it, and it's even though BlackRock pulled it down, you still can find the video because I found the video. Now, the FBI at the scene, once he was apprehended or killed, they found they found his telephone. They found his phone. They found his phone, and the FBI want us to believe, the FBI, that they cannot retrieve any information from his phone. What? Now, they can retrieve information from your phone and my phone, but they can't retrieve any information from his phone. Does that make sense to you? They have satellites. They have access to all of the different companies, whether it's T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, you name it. They have access, backdoor access to all the main servers of every phone company in the world. They have satellite. They have so much technology, and you're going to sit here and tell me you can't access his phone because they want you to believe he's the sole assailant. He's the sole only random person that did this, when there are 3 or 4 videos now of different people testifying that they heard 2 shooters. And they heard a shooter from that water tower that I showed you guys. They heard shots from there. And they also heard shots from that guy from the roof. There were 2 shooters, but they only captured one. They only killed one. Where's the other shooter? Now, when they also captured him, they found the receipt in his pocket from Home Depot for a ladder, but they don't find no ladder. Now, my thing is, how did he get on the roof? He had to have a ladder, but where's the ladder? So again, he has some help. He had to have some help. He didn't do this by himself. If you think he did this by himself, a 20-year-old kid outsmarted Secret Service, Homeland Security, local police, you got to be out of your mind. He didn't. He had a lot of help. And there's a lot of people that wanted Donald Trump dead. It is what it is. A lot of people wanted him expired. I don't want to use the word unalived. That's the word I should use. They wanted him unalived. And now I'm concerned. I'm really concerned now for Donald Trump, because he was doing some things that mainstream deep state didn't like. Okay. And this is why he's getting so much momentum amongst average people, because he's going against the grain of some of the deep state and the New World Order. He's going against the grain, because here's a man who's multi-billionaire, no matter what you think. Oh, he's showing on his taxes he don't have no money. People think he don't have no money. Okay, keep thinking that. Because the highest level of the game in business is to control everything and own nothing. Okay? So when you can control everything but showing no ownership, that's a whole nother level of economic knowledge. Okay? Whereas in reverse, average people own everything and control nothing. And you don't control anything because at any time, the IRS, the SEC, or whoever can come in and take your stuff and disrupt you. You don't own nothing. But when you have this shield of armor of corporations and trust funds and blind trust, and you got all this different stuff going on where you have massive wealth, but nothing's in your name, but you can control everything, that's the highest level of the game. So don't think for a minute, just because he doesn't show he's a billionaire, he's not a billionaire. You have to be really insane to think that, knowing that this guy's been a billionaire since the 80s, when there was only 700 billionaires in the world, he was one. So if you think he's not one now, I don't know what you're smoking. Or you just don't understand the hierarchy of business, mindset entrepreneurs. Because again, like I said, He controls through corporations, through trust funds. This is where he controls his billions, not in his name. So no, there's no billions in Donald Trump's name because he understands the highest level of taxes and the highest level of business, which is to own nothing and control everything. Okay. So this guy, Donald Trump, this assassination attempt on his life has so many red flags on it. It's not even funny. The red flags. And the FBI, the same FBI who investigated under the Freedom of Information, FOI, Freedom of Information, investigated Martin Luther King, called him a communist, surveillanced his phone, and is somewhat involved in the assassination. The same FBI who were involved in the assassination of Kennedy, they're investigating this. I feel real comfortable about that. I feel real comfortable about the FBI investigating and telling us, oh, we couldn't find nothing in his phone. But they can find everything in your phone. They can track anybody's phone. They can retrieve information from anyone's cell phone. But now they have this guy's phone and they're telling us, oh, we can't find anything in the phone. And he was a sole assailant. He didn't have any help. He was by himself. If you believe that, you believe anything. If you believe that, you deserve to be bamboozled, hoodwinked. You deserve it because all you got to use is use your common sense. Now, I'm not a guru. I'm not a genius. I have a lot of common sense. And because I have so much common sense, it puts me in a position to look like I'm very ingenious. And I'm not. I'm just a common sense person. And when things don't make common sense, then you got to do your investigation. So that doesn't make common sense at all. All the different slides I showed you is out of the realm of common sense. And for the FBI to say the guy has no records in his phone, we couldn't find nothing in his phone, that don't make that's they couldn't get in his phone. They said they didn't say nothing was in the phone. They're saying we couldn't get in his phone. Huh? FBI, Homeland Security, you can't get in his phone. Tell that to somebody else. Please don't please, you're insulting my intelligence. You're insulting my intelligence. Okay. Now I told you guys there's 3 or 4 videos out there of people saying they heard 2 different shot locations. They heard from the water tower. They heard shots coming from there as well. That would make more sense how his ear got skinned because that would be more to the right of Donald Trump. Now, when he turned his head, I could see it skinning his right ear. This guy over here towards the left, I don't see how that bullet curved around and hit him in that ear, especially when his head's turned that way. It's not making sense to me, but it do make sense if it's coming from a different direction. But the media will point out another guy because he's the one that got shot, he's the one that got killed, but they're not talking about the possibility of 2 shooters when there's 3 witnesses that did videos and several other people, I'm sure, that heard 2 different shot locations. Nobody's covering that in the media. This is why I'm talking about it now. It's the same thing that happened in JFK. Now let's get down to this. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Why was this happening to Donald Trump? I'm going to share something with you guys right now. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Abraham Lincoln in 1865, I believe, when he wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, a lot of African Americans attribute him to freeing the slaves. But in fact, it wasn't about freeing the slaves because in the Douglas papers, Abraham Lincoln said he didn't believe in he wasn't an abolitionist. He said, I'm not an abolitionist. I believe in the superiority over the whites and the inferiority of blacks. That's what he said. I didn't say that. That's in the Douglas papers. And a dialogue he had with this congressman named Douglas, not Frederick Douglass, but there was a guy named Douglas. He had a conversation with a dialogue. And in that dialogue, it's documented that he said he's not an abolitionist. It's about money. Okay. He had to break up the South because the South had amassed a huge amount of wealth using slaves. And each different state had its own currency. North Carolina had its own currency. Texas had its own currency. South Carolina, Tennessee, all of these different states had their own currency. Wow. They don't really teach that in school. They talk about the Revolutionary War. They talk about the Civil War and coming together under the Union. Well, the Union is the Union means one, and so Abraham Lincoln wanted to bring the country together into one currency, which happened after he was able to defeat the South. He had to, it really didn't free the slaves because slaves fought on the South and the North. They fought on both sides. Okay, some of the slave masters would make their slave go represent them in the draft. Go fight for me. I own you, so you go fight for me. I've been drafted. You go fight for me. That's why we fought on the South. We was forced. On the North, we fought because we were under the notion that once this war is over, slavery will be over. But it was another 100 years after that, we had this thing called voluntary slavery, where people were forced to work on these plantations for nothing. And you lived on the plantation, they build you, and they recouped with the food they gave you, the clothes they gave you, the shelter they gave you. So basically all the pickings of your cotton or tobacco was for free. So you basically had to volunteer yourself now into slavery. So that lasted almost another 100 years. To actually about 50 years or 60 years. That went on for a while, almost 100 years. So Abraham Lincoln did not want to sign with the central banks. Abraham Lincoln did not want to encompass the United States under a central bank because all the quote unquote founding forefathers that came from Europe understood the machinations of a central bank, how they operate. In Europe, they started these central banks. And if you read anything about the central banks and the beginning of central banks, or how central banks started through Europe, you'll understand how they loan money to wars. They'll loan to both sides. How they loan money to governments, how they loan money to kings. So Abraham Lincoln would not sign a bill allowing a central bank in America, and that's what got him killed. Had nothing to do with slaves. Had nothing to do with freeing those slaves. He got killed because he refused to allow a central bank in the United States. Wow, that's the real truth. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about money. But here we come, 1914. Woodrow Wilson, the president, sold us out. You should go read the book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I met the author. We are good friends. I talked to him several times. We text each other quite a few times. G. Edward Griffin, I got photos and stuff with me and him. And he went into extensive details with me about how the Federal Reserve, which is a central bank, it's not even a part of the United States, was established in 1914. And I've read his book several times, The Creature from Jekyll Island. And in 1913, that bank was established during Christmas break, when everybody was asleep on Christmas Eve. They signed that bill, and they signed it under Federal Reserve Act. And everybody signed it. It tricked everybody, but it really was a central bank. And it's no coincidence, 1 year after that, we had the First World War. Wow. When a central bank financed all parties. So when they say war is money, no, war is not really money for us. It's money for central bankers and international bankers. It's not money for the people. In fact, governments go into debt when there's a war. They go into debt when there's a war. So 1913, the central bank, or the Federal Reserve, which is not a part of this country, was set up. Okay? Now, fast forward. Next president, John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy signed an executive order. I don't know if I got all the ones right. It's 111110, which was to back the American dollar by silver. Now, look at the timing. 1964, John F. Kennedy wanted to pass this executive order, and the executive order is still alive today. Anybody can execute it whenever they want. It passed to back our money with silver. And that's what got him killed, amongst other reasons. There were multiple entities that wanted him dead: the mafia, the CIA, the Secret Service, and the international bankers. Don't forget them. All of these different entities wanted him dead for different reasons. He wanted to disband the CIA because when they did the Bay of Pigs, they didn't include him. He didn't know nothing about it until it happened. He was talking about disbanding them. His brother, Robert F. Kennedy, who became the attorney general, he wanted to disband the mafia. He went after the mafia strongly when the mafia actually helped them get in through their father, Joseph Kennedy. They felt betrayed. So he had several enemies. But by him backing the dollar with silver, that is direct opposite to this Keynesian economics that we have of borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And this is why we have a $34 trillion debt right now. How does the United States owe themselves? Okay, when they say the United States got a $34 trillion debt, who is the debt to? It's not China. A lot of people say, oh, it's China. No, it's the Federal Reserve. It's the central banks. Now, China did take and buy some of the debt through bonds. And those bonds now, China are dumping those bonds left and right. They want their money. They don't want these bonds with the anticipation of getting interest on the dollar. They want their money. So they've been dumping these bonds. Okay? They own a huge percentage of treasury bonds from the United States. But it was the central bank and the threat to the central bank by backing the money with silver. Now let's look at this for a minute. Am I just crazy? Am I just making up stuff? Is this conspiracy or is this fact? 1964. Now fast forward to 1971 when Nixon became president and we started the Vietnam War. Now, mind you, in 1914, when World War I started, the United States was the last ones in that war. So all these other countries went into debt. Then in 1941, when we went to the Second World War, all these countries got in and we got in last, and they went into debt. So it was decided in the Bretton Woods Conference in like 46 or 50, I can't remember the exact year. Just Google the Bretton Woods Conference. It was decided amongst all nations that the United States dollar will be the anchor tenet or the anchor dollar of all currencies because we have more gold in Fort Knox backing our dollar than anyone because we got in those two wars last. So we had the least debt. Make sense? So all this is going to tie in 1 minute. Just bear with me. Okay? We get into why Donald Trump. What's the reasons why Donald Trump got on that list? We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. It's all going to tie in 1 minute. Just bear with me. So in 1960 something, when we had the war, after Kennedy was shot, after Kennedy was dead, after Lyndon Baines Johnson, we had Richard Nixon. And Nixon was in office, and this guy named Charles de Gaulle from France said, you guys been in that Vietnam War for quite a while now, over 8 years. Do you really have the gold that you say you have? And if you look at the United States dollar prior to 1971, it used to say, upon return of this note, the bearer of this note will receive equal amount in gold. That used to be on the dollar. I got it on my Instagram. I still have those dollars on my Instagram where you can see that. Today it just says Federal Reserve note. It used to have on return of this dollar or this note, the bearer of this note will receive equal amount in silver or gold. It used to have them both. Okay, so what happened was Charles de Gaulle had a tremendous amount of, I don't know how much, US dollars, because he was selling products to us. And after selling products and doing trade, he accumulated so many billions, I guess, or millions, or hundreds of millions of US dollars. So he decided, I want my gold. I'm going to trade in, okay, these dollars for gold because you say on this dollar that you're going to give me the equal amount in gold. He did that. And then it became a run on the banks. Everybody wanted to do that after he did it. And so Nixon was forced to stop the US dollar being backed by gold. Okay. Then this is 71. Now remember, Robert F. Kennedy wanted to back the money with silver in 64 because he saw the depletion of the gold in Fort Knox. And he knew it wasn't going to be enough gold to equally exchange dollars for gold. He saw that. So he said, okay, I'm going to remedy this. I'm going to back it by silver. And that wasn't what the bankers wanted because they wanted to create this $34 trillion worth of debt. I'm coming up to the subject now. I'm coming up. They wanted this debt to grow with the United States. Okay. And so once they took the money off, they decided that they were going to back it by oil. So in 1930 something, Saudi Arabia was looking for water in the desert, and they found oil. But in the 30s, there wasn't a huge demand for oil because cars were not as in demand as they are today. But by 71, there started to be a more demand for oil, okay, for gas. As we're driving these big Cadillacs, diamond in the back, sun rooftop, digging the scene with the gangster lean, we driving these huge SUVs. Now there's a more of a demand for, and China's on the rise. China was still riding bicycles, but now they're starting to get more cars. So it was very ingenious to go to Saudi Arabia and say, hey, you got all this oil, but you have no military. So someone can come here and just take your stuff. So why don't we train your men? Why don't we give you F-14s? Why don't we put bases here, United States bases, to protect your assets? But if we do that, you're going to have to sell all your oil for US dollars, no matter if they're from Russia, Uzbekistan, Yugoslavia, Turkey, no matter where these people are in the world, they're going to have to exchange their dollar to US dollars to buy oil. Saudi Arabia agreed. And that's what made the dollar maintain its strength, even though it wasn't backed by gold. Now it's backed by another mineral called oil, which was the birth of the petrodollar. Now, fast forward to today. Donald Trump has decided that he's not going to back a CBDC coin, a centralized bank digital currency. He's decided that a central bank digital currency, it could be dangerous to the public. And I concur with him because I understand what a centralized digital bank currency will be. Okay? It's going to deplete all your funds. You're going to turn in your paper cash, and you're going to be on a centralized server that they distribute you your spending amount. They control your spending amount. They can see every dime you spend, every dime you receive from someone. They can tax every transaction, whether you're receiving money or sending money. They can stop you from traveling if they don't like things you're saying on the internet. They can say, you know what? We're going to freeze Eric Brent's account because we don't like what he's saying on the internet. We don't like he's enlightening people. So we're going to put him on a 2-week punishment. He can't spend any money. Bam, hit one button, you shut down. Very dangerous system. Very dangerous system. The centralized bank digital currency is coming. They've been working on it. I did a whole speech on this a couple years ago called the Global Currency Reset. They're coming with this currency and they want to be able to control every single transaction in the world and every single transaction that you make and all the money that you have in your account. They're going to be able to control it all. They can't control it all now today, but they're trying to get to a point where they got this one centralized currency system that you all are going to be on, and Donald Trump ain't with it. That's the real reason why they don't like him. I'm gonna play a video right now so you guys can see this video of him and some of the things that he said about this digital currency. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Let me get out of this. Hold on one second. Let me get out of this. So I want you guys to see this video, but this is the real reason why they have this attempt on his life, because he's getting in the way of the money. He's getting in the way of international bankers. Now, one of the things I wanted to say is I'm hoping that this attempt doesn't change him. I'm hoping that this attempt doesn't make him say now, oh, I'm going to let that go through, because that was a warning. We'll take your life. if you get in the way of this money. It's all about money. Follow the money. That's why my channel is called Family Caption Follow the Money. Because when you follow the money, you're going to find a whole different reason. And nobody is talking about the motive. They just want you to think it's just some crazy old kid that took some shots and that's it. That's all it is to it. It's bigger than that. Trust me, it's bigger than that. Way bigger than that. Okay? And Donald Trump has already said he's not with it. He's not really with, decentralized digital currency. And I'm not with it either because I understand the control they'll have over you. I understand they'll be able to do this thing like in China, which is called social credit. Social credit works like this. It's not credit like you have your FICO score. It's credit based on your behavior. So if we don't like the book you wrote that enlightens people about Bitcoin, we can not allow you to travel. We can not allow you to spend money for a while because we can use that digital centralized server that everybody has to use to punish you. And we can reward the people who work with the system, basically snitch or whatever. We can reward them. But the people who are trying to liberate people and give people more enlightenment and giving them and raising the consciousness, we're going to punish them because that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to control not just your money. They want to control your thoughts. They want to control your opinions. They want to control everything that you do. And if they can come through with this centralized digital currency, then it can happen. But I'm going to say this. We already got Bitcoin. We already got Ethereum. We already have decentralized coins that beat them to the punch. So there's options for you. You don't have to be stuck in that centralized digital currency. You don't have to be stuck in a centralized bank digital currency. CBDC, that's what it's called. CBDC. If you don't believe me, start doing your own Googling on CBDC, what it is, how it works. It's going to have total control of you. Because remember this, everything you do in the world is led by a transaction. You get in your car, in order to drive your car, you need to do a transaction. You need to buy gas. In order for you to travel out the country, you need to buy a ticket. In order for you to go grocery shopping, you need to do a transaction. Every single thing you do is led by a transaction. So if they control all transactions and they have everyone in a digital database, damn, this could be the most dangerous system ever in the history of economics and politics. It could be the most dangerous thing we've ever seen in the world. Cryptocurrency was created to liberate people, to allow you to do peer-to-peer transactions without a bank, without a government, without even divulging your name. It offers you total freedom to transact anywhere in the world with anyone in the world. The government might have sanctions on a certain country, on Russia. I might want to use some Russian programmers for my website. It has nothing to do with government. It has nothing to do with anything that they're doing. Why should I be penalized? I can do business with them through crypto. I don't have to be penalized because Joe Biden doesn't like someone. I don't have to be penalized because some congressman has a beef with someone in someone else's country. So this is what cryptocurrency was made for. It's encrypted. It allows us to transact not money, but value. And at the end of the day, that's all it's about is value. So if you want to sell your bike for $186 of USD, I can send you cryptocurrency that is valued at $186, and you can take that crypto and transfer it into the currency of your choice. Wow, total freedom. But they want to stop that. This is why our government has been making so many laws against cryptocurrency. SEC was going crazy last year trying to stop cryptocurrency companies. And they're losing miserably because it's not money, it's coding. And so they're trying to control it because they know it has value. And they want to control everything with value. But you can take that value and exchange it for any currency that you want. But we don't want a centralized bank digital currency where one bank controls everybody's money or everybody's ability to transact. There's going to be no money no more. It's going to be transactions, and it's going to be a digital currency that they control. And I'm gonna tell you the danger in that. Like right now, they can have zero interest rates. With a digital currency, they can do -5. So basically, what that means, they can't go negative long as you have a physical object that has value. But when they create the value and they create the currency, they can go -25, meaning that every year you lose 25% of your value without doing nothing. Damn. So you got $100,000 in the bank. If you don't use it within a year, you only got 85,000 or 80,000 or 75,000. That can be done with a digital currency. This is how dangerous that is. This is how dangerous that is. They can go negative interest. You can't do negative right now. They can go zero. They can't go negative. Now they can go negative with a digital currency. So basically, they can do it in little increments. Let's say they do 2%. So every year you're losing 2% of your value. Now, you don't really see that, but it's still being taken. It's still diminishing from your account. So I'm going to share this with you guys. One of the things that Donald Trump is against, and it doesn't fit the deep state. It doesn't fit the international bankers. It doesn't fit the economic global plan for the future. And he's stepping on some big toes. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. That's what Lincoln was killed behind. Not allowing a central bank in the United States. That's what he was killed behind. It had nothing to do with slaves. That's what Kennedy was killed behind. Trying to put a real substance behind the US dollar to give it real value. That's what he was killed behind. Which that executive order is still there right now. Executive order 11110, which is to back the money by silver. He saw that the Fort Knox was depleting its gold, and it wasn't going to be enough gold to sustain itself if you trade it for currencies. They didn't want that. They wanted the currency to go negative. They wanted the currency to go in debt because now these bankers have America in debt. They got all these countries in debt. Inflation is going crazy. And who's paying that cost? The public. So let me show you guys right now. Okay, this webinar will be over in about 2 minutes. Let me show you guys. Let me share with you guys my screen again. Let me share my screen and let me see what's going on. Do I see it? I'm sorry, you guys. Give me a minute. I'm gonna share my screen here. Share. Okay, so where is? Give me a minute. I'm gonna go to this video. Let me close that. Boom. Save. Okay. Give me a minute. That's not the video. There's a video right here. So I'm gonna share this video with you guys and check this out right quick. Just check this out. Trump calls central bank digital currency very dangerous. What I just said. After vowing to prohibit the Federal Reserve, the central banks, to create a digital dollar. They already created it. They tested it now. I think it's called Fed Now or something. They already got it. They testing it, and they're gonna make this thing. They're gonna make it to where you all have to use it. Every company gonna have to use every. That's kind of like the mark of the beast. Period. Read the book of Revelations. I'm not the most religious guy, but I can read. I've read the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. The book of Revelations talks about the mark of the beast. You won't be able to do nothing without it. This is what they're trying to put in effect. Donald Trump is not with it. Remember, this is not about Democrat or Republican. I'm not here talking about no Democrat or Republican. I'm talking about money. I'm talking about the real reasons the presidents got killed. Money. So right here, he's saying, no, I'm not going with that. This has been a plan of theirs for years. They've been planning this now. You can read a book called Behold the Pale Horse. I read that book in 1991. They was talking about this. So they've been planning this for years. Remember, when these wise financiers and globalist people that run the world, these huge families that run the world, when they plan something, they plan 50 years in advance. Trust me. They plan 50 years in advance. So let's go ahead and and finish. It's just like a little 2-3 minute video. I want you guys to see this because I've heard him speak on this and say he's not going to let this go down. Former President Donald Trump expressed heavy skepticism about the security of a central bank digital currency. This is what got him shot. This is why they want to lock him up in jail. They use the political system to, I'm so much against this. It's not about Democrat, Republican. This video is not about Democrat, Republican. I'm against any particular political party using the United States justice system against an opponent, because when we allow this to happen, then we headed towards dictatorship. Because anytime anyone comes to challenge that person in power, he's just put the United States Justice Department on them. Okay? I'm not with that. I think that's very, very tyrannical. That's a tyrant act. Okay? We have a freedom here. We have the Constitution here. We have the right to vote. We have the right to choose who we want to choose. If they choose Donald Trump, they choose Biden, whoever the people choose, and it should be no interference by the parties that's ruling in that process. And when you start allowing that to happen, there goes democracy. It's gone. Okay? It's gone. This is why I like cryptocurrency so much. It's not just about Bitcoin. It's about blockchain technology. Blockchain technology has the ability to redistribute wealth and take it away from these multi-corporations and redistribute it to the people. Come on now. Why wouldn't I like that? Why wouldn't I like that? And it needs to be done because there's too many major corporations that are corrupting our governments and giving them bribes, and they're mandating what law is going to be. I have a suspicion that this is why TikTok got attacked, because Mark Zuckerberg, who's one of the richest men in the world, didn't like the fact that TikTok had over 1 billion people really fast. Amazon, Jeff Bezos probably didn't like the fact that TikTok allows its members to sell products. They got an affiliate program and they have shipping and they have really good products, and it's competing with Amazon. So I wouldn't be surprised if them two lobbied Congress, because I've never seen Congress unanimously vote on something unanimously within a short period of time. They all agreed on something for real. They can't agree on economy. They can't agree on the budgets. They can't agree on foreigners. They can't agree on nothing. But they autonomously, automatically, unanimously all agreed to get rid of TikTok. That's interesting. It's the only thing I ever seen you guys unanimously vote on in my life. I've never seen an unanimous vote, especially that fast. So there had to be some kind of payola behind that. This is what we're trying to get away from. We want everything to be based on vote, based on the majority of the people, based on the consensus of what people want, and not these few little corporations that's corrupting our governments. It's not about Democrat. It's not about Republic. It's about democracy. It's about free capitalism, free enterprising. That's what it's about. They want to choke that out and strangle that. Okay? With that centralized bank digital currency, it'd be the most damaging thing we've ever seen in the history of the world. Trust me. Okay, let's go back to the video. I want you guys to see this, because this is all a part of why they attacked this guy, why they want to kill this guy. Okay. He's getting in their way. He has vowed to block. He's going to block that. If they pass that, he's going to block it. And he also got upset with him throwing the virus because he wasn't wearing a mask. And he hired his own team to investigate. And he didn't want to use Fauci's team. Fauci. I call him Fauci. Anthony Fauci. He didn't want to use their team because they were making up information. He hired his own team, and now today he must have been right, because Fauci is under investigation, he might go to jail. So This guy is going against the grain of everything they're doing. The New World Order. He's going against the grain. Because remember, he's arrogant, he's cocky, he's a self-made billionaire who wants to run his own ship. And that's dangerous. Again, like I said, I'm hoping he doesn't change his direction, because after that shot or shots, it will make you think. I'm sure he has some moments to himself to think about his direction, and I'm hoping he doesn't change his direction. Okay. Now, again, he's going to block it. And in an interview he released through though he personally owns 3 million in crypto himself, he might own more. He's also pro cryptocurrency, so that's why I like him. I don't want anybody coming in here trying to stop cryptocurrency, because what they want to do is stop us from having private wallets. Right now in crypto, they got custodian and non-custodian. Custodian wallets mean you control it. I mean they control, like an exchange. You're going through a third party. Non-custodian mean you're controlling that wallet. You have total control of the wallet. You know what you got in there. Nobody knows what you got in there. And I'm promoting now, how would you like to be a digital millionaire, but nobody knows you're a millionaire but you? That's what digital currency is about. You could be a multimillionaire. Nobody knows you're a millionaire but you. Nobody needs to know that. It's your privacy and your right to privacy not to have people know what you got. But in today's world, when you want to be private, they try to make it seem like you're doing something wrong. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have privacy. The Constitution allows you the right to your privacy. Okay? So to want to be private don't mean I'm doing anything illegal. And if I'm not doing anything illegal, then I'm entitled to my privacy. Period. As long as I'm not doing nothing illegal. But that digital currency is bad news. And again, I'm hoping and praying that Donald Trump doesn't change his direction now, since this attempt on his life. Most of the people I talk to say he's not going to change because he's too arrogant and he's stubborn and he's a guy that's not going to allow anybody to change his direction. I'm hoping they're right, because that digital currency won't be good for none of us. None of us, not Republicans, not Democrats, not Libertarians. I don't care what political party you're from. I don't care what religion you're from. You can be Baptist, you can be Catholic, you can be Muslim, you can be Jew. It don't matter. That digital currency is our enemy. It's the enemy to every single human being on the planet. It is the enemy. The whole idea of them controlling every dime that you receive or send, seeing every transaction you do. That whole thing is sinister. It's a double mindset. Period. Because what makes money so powerful is it gives you freedom. If you have money, money is an expression. You can use money as an expression. If I want to support this party or that party, if I want to support my church, I want to give certain money to my church, that's a form of expression of my support. So money is not just transactions, it's expressions. So when they want to control that and minimize what you can do, and they're going to control it. They're not going to just monitor. That's the first step, is being total monitoring. Total monitoring is the first step. Then next is control. Then next is suppression of the people. They'll be able to control who get rich and who don't get rich. That's dangerous. That's totally dangerous. We can't allow any entity, one entity, to have total control on every transaction, every cent, every penny. No, that's dangerous. Okay? So, again, this is what got him in so much trouble. This is what this is my opinion. This is my opinion. But again, my opinion is not being talked about in the news. They're not telling you this about Lincoln, about Kennedy. They're not telling you the stuff I'm saying. They're not showing you the slides. You've probably seen them pictures, but I put my own spin on it. And I saw that this guy did an advertisement for BlackRock. I'm like, He's not just an average kid. He got connected. He's connected. This kid is connected. BlackRock, he's connected. Trust me, he's connected. Okay, now we're gonna wrap this up. Let's go ahead and finish this video. Let's finish this video. Okay, so Donald Trump is for cryptocurrency. He wants America to be the main point of the development and the innovative creativity to expand this blockchain technology. And why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't America lead the charge? Why shouldn't we? The first Bitcoin was launched in America from a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto, who nobody's seen, to a guy named Hal Finney. The first Bitcoin was launched here. The first Bitcoin exchange was launched here. Why are we going to let other countries explore that technology, expand that technology, and beat us in the technology that started here? That's what happened with the microchips. That's what happened with the semiconductors. It started at IBM, and then the Chinese guy, took it over to Taiwan, and he expanded that technology, and now they're leading in that technology. 70% of the semiconductors coming out of Taiwan when it started in America. We got to wake up, man. There's so many people in position of power that want to block innovativeness, want to stifle and suppress people and keep us down, versus allowing free enterprising to prosper, allowing free democracy and capitalism to just take its course. Let it flow. Stop trying to suppress everything and control everything. This is the problem in the world. This is why we have a BRICS. BRICS started because they're getting tired of these people here in this country trying to manipulate currency, trying to manipulate transactions. That's why it started. And I just read where Iran and Moscow, Russia, created their own system to do interbank transactions to settle trade between different currencies without using the US dollar, without using the SWIFT code system, and they're using a blockchain technology to do it. Wow. Wow. When it started here, that technology started here. So Trump wants to allow that technology to evolve. And if that technology evolves, it's good for everybody. Every and anybody have access now of becoming a digital millionaire without any restraints, without government, suppressing you or oppressing you or negatively affecting your movement in any way. That's what I'm for. Okay. Now let's go. Let's go watch the video some more. Let's see what the video got. I'm not gonna watch the whole video. I just want to show that to you. This is my reason why I think he's being assaulted. According to Forbes, estimated and hawks a line of NFT trading cards. Okay. Probably on more than that. Trump said a so-called digital dollar would be very dangerous, claiming it could create a situation where money suddenly disappears from your bank accounts. Money suddenly disappears. Formerly using a digital currency. He don't want this digital currency. I don't need to go no further. I made my point. I don't need to go no further. Go look up CBDC. CBDC, centralized bank, or the central bank digital currency. Go look that up. Do your own research. Go on YouTube. Pull up as many videos as you can on that, and you'll see it is the most dangerous system that we can ever come up with for the masses of the people. It's the best system for governments. It's the best system to control the people. It's the absolute best system for the rich to keep everybody else down. Absolutely best system. But it is the worst system for the masses of the public. And that's how I'm going to close this. This is what I think got him in a situation where they plotting on him. Now, I'm going to say this in my closing. Donald Trump said when he became president, he was going to investigate the John F. Kennedy murder. And he was going to reveal it to the public. Now, once he got in office, he pulled the FBI files and looked into the murder, the assassination of John F. Kennedy. and he kept quiet. He never shared with us, the public, what happened. When he told us, when he got in office, he was going to look that up. He was going to pull the reports from the FBI and come to the public and explain to us what was in the reports. Well, he did go and pull the reports, but he never explained to us what happened. I would imagine it would have required him to basically spill the beans on the very agencies that's protecting him now. I expect that in those documents, it was so sensitive to the public and it was so sensitive to his well-being. Because in this shooting attempt, it appears to me like certain Secret Service and government and Homeland and FBI and police were definitely cooperating. It appears to me there was a lot of cooperation going on because one guy is not outsmarting Homeland Security, Secret Service, CIA, local police. Hell no, it's not happening. This was coordinated. This was coordinated. And like I showed you that one picture, how in the hell can that rooftop so close not be looked at as a threat? I in my case. This guy has pissed off some people in high places. Trust me. And so I'm going to go ahead and end with this right here. I got one more slide I want to show you. And I'm not going to even talk about it. I'm not going to even show the slide. That one picture of Donald Trump bleeding and throwing up his fists with the American flag behind him is a for sure lockdown of the presidency. That picture there, you can't buy that in politics. You can't pay for a picture like that. And now I want to address briefly those that say, oh, that was set up. That was screened. That was they staged that. You can't stage something like that. You got a man who was protecting his family, who dove in front of a bullet, ex-fireman, former fireman, retired fireman who lost his life. His brains got blown out. 2 other people injured. The guy on the roof got killed. What's his name? Thomas Matthew Crooks. He's dead. The former president came within millimeters from dying. Millimeters. If that bullet skinned his ear, if he'd have turned just a little bit this way, it could have pierced his temple or hit him in the back of the medulla oblongata. He came within millimeters, according to snipers, millimeters from getting his brains blown out. You can't stage that. There's no way you can practice that. You can't practice that. So all of them people saying that, man, you sound silly. And then you got a lot of people saying, I was reading the comments when it happened. Oh, too bad he missed. Oh, they need to do it again. And I'm saying to myself, how sick are you, man? It doesn't matter if I'm a Democrat or Republican. I don't wish that on nobody. I'm not going to sit here and wish a person got killed because they have a different opinion than me. They're from a different political party than me. Okay, I'm Democrat, he Republican. So because we argue differently, we see different points, different things that need to be fixed in this country. We don't agree on certain things. I want you to die. That is totally the opposite of a democracy, of freedom of speech, freedom of expression. He has the right to express whatever it is he believes. If he's a Ku Klux Klan, he has the right to express that. Just like a black supremacist, somebody who's totally pro-black or Pan-Africanist or whatever, have the right to express what they believe. You have the right to express that. Now, when it comes to you doing something, sinister to someone, you don't have the right to do that. But you have the right to believe what you want to believe, to think what you want to think, to express what you want to express. And I don't have the right to want to have physical damage done to you because we differ in opinions. That's just crazy to me. And this is what I'm hearing a lot of. I saw it when it happened live, and I'm reading all the comments. And there were several people going, oh, they should have killed him. Oh, why they miss? That's sick, man. Just think about that. If everybody in the world that disagree with you, you kill them. You got a government like what's it called, in Uganda, Idi Amin or something. You running a Hitler government. You running a government that's just totally out of control. Anybody thinks anything different than you want to kill them? Man, clean up your thoughts, man. Think about what you're saying, because you're speaking out the side of your neck and you're not understanding. Everyone has a right to speak and express their thoughts and opinions, and you don't have the right to wish harm on them, and you don't have the right to want a physical, death on a person because they think different than you. Come on, man. We got to wake up from that. That's totally un-American. That's totally un democratic. That's not a democratic way of thinking. And we always promote democracy. We always say we're going around the world for democracy, but the people here are so shallow-minded and so corrupted in their thinking. I don't agree with none of that. I would not wish that on nobody. Whoever is running for office, that's my opponent. Whoever's running for office, I would not wish that on nobody. The only way I'm in my right of bringing bodily harm to somebody is in self-defense. If somebody brings it to me, that's the only way I'm in my right. Other than that, I don't have a right to do any damage to anybody that has a different opinion than me. That's just ludicrous. So y'all stop all that. Stop all that. This was screened. This was a screen. Oh, Donald Trump set himself up for president. Come on, man. You can't even practice that. You can't even practice that. What happened? There's no way to practice that. Okay, I want you to shoot just the skin of my ear off. Come on, man. You sound stupid. Because within millimeters, he could have died. That was not staged. You really saw an assassination attempt. And it made me angry when Joe Biden got up there and said, and they asked him, was this assassination attempt? He said, oh, I can't speak on it. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Whenever a former president was shot at, that's an assassination attempt, bro. That's not, what else you gonna call it? He didn't even want to call it an assassination in the beginning. This is how far removed we become. Because he lost in the debate, he looked stupid in the debate, because the media has been dragging him through the mud, talking about he's senile. You want to say, oh, I don't know if it was an assassination. What else would you call it? When a former president was shot at, got his ear skinned by a sniper, and he's the number one contender in the election, what else would you call that? I don't know what else to call it but an assassination attempt. Call it what it is, man. I mean, you're not even in accord with truth right now. You don't even want to agree with truth. So why would I trust you? You don't even want to agree with truth. Okay? So again, the FBI has decided they can't get into this guy's phone. I don't believe that. If you believe that, that's on you. I don't believe that, because they get into everybody's phone. This whole situation stinks. And I'm telling you guys, this is all about the money. So again, my channel is called Follow the Money, Family Cash Machine first, which is generational wealth. The family cash machine, we all know what family means. We all know what cash means, income, money. Machine is something autonomous, something that automatically creates things, or a system. So you want to have a system in your family that generates income. That's what the family cash machine means. But my YouTube channel is called Follow the Money, because my attitude is when you follow the money, you'll find a different reason than what the narrative of the mainstream medium. What is the mainstream medium right now narrative? Oh, this was just a lone guy, this crazy guy that just did it. Now I'm hearing all these different interviews. Oh, he was bullied in school. He always was bullied. So what? That gives you right to go shoot the president or the former president? They're always trying to minimize these shootings. When these school shootings and mass shootings that are happening mainly from Europeans, not really no black people doing mass shootings, but we see these individuals that's doing these mass shootings, and they always try to humanize them, and they always try to give them a reason why they did it. I'm seeing these interviews now, and they're saying, oh, he was bullied in school. You seeing him? He was always bullied in school. Oh, so I feel sorry for him. So that's why he did that. No, hell no. I'm not giving him that. I'm not giving him that credit. No, just because there's a lot of people was bullied in school. Become a police officer. So a lot of police officers were bullied at school. I mean, they don't give you a right to plan a murder on a former president. And like I said, he didn't act alone. Don't believe that. Don't bite that. Don't bite on that. This is the problem in America is they use the media to hypnotize you. It was a research they did in the CIA back in the 60s. And they came to the conclusion through psychological research. If they tell somebody something enough times through repetitions, they believe it, even if it's true or not. So this is what the media does. They repeat the same story over and over and again until the public go, oh no, well, this is what happened. Because you're repeating through repetitions what you heard without any fact finding. I go do my research. When I hear stories, when I see stories, if it don't look right, if it don't sound right, I go do my research. And then I follow up with my conclusion based on my research and my fact finding. I don't believe everything in the media because I understand that the media is owned by 6 corporations. There's 6 corporations that own every news channel, every network, every radio station, 6 corporations that owns all of the media outlets in the world. That should tell you something right there. Okay? Do your own research. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out, you guys. Donald Trump was, in my opinion, attempt assassination because he's against this new world order. He's against this digital currency, this global reset of economics, because they don't know what to do. Inflation is out of control. People are dumping the dollar. The dollar is declining. It's no longer going to be the #1 currency in the world. They don't know what to do. So how about we do a total reset? Get rid of paper money. Put everybody on a dollar that we control. Not just the value, but the distribution of it. Damn. We can't let that happen. That's the mark of the beast. So with that, I'm going to close out, you guys. This EB Crypto, Eric Brent, Family Cash Machine, follow the money. And this is why you guys need to follow me and find out how you can control your own value through cryptocurrency. Right now, I'm buying software nodes that's creating coins based on companies that's creating value. So now these coins are going to have value, and I'll be able to move. Even when they start a CBDC, when they start the CBDC, I'll still be able to do transactions because it's always going to be a black market. People are always going to trade. Hey, man, look, I got $35,000 worth of win coins. Remember what I just said, $35,000 worth. That's the key, is the value. Somebody want to sell a car for 25,000. Hey man, I got 35,000 worth of win coins. I'll give you your 25,000 in win coins for that car. That's going to be black market trades for eternity. They're not ever going to be able to stop bartering. We're always going to have a barter system. We're always going to have free trade, period. But if you're using their digital currency, now you're not in a free trade system. You're in a controlled, monopolized system of control, of monitoring. So you guys, it's your choice. You can sit back and do nothing, or you can start planning and positioning yourself to always have options of free trade. But you can't do that if you don't have value. You have to have some value stored away outside of their system. So this is what I'm here for. I'm not only here just to educate and to enlighten people what's happening. I'm here to help people to become financially free. Okay? Financially free, where you can move and you can still operate without the mark of the beast, without being connected to that system. You can still buy food, you can still buy the things that you need and trade value for whatever it is you need outside of this CBDC system. So with that, I'm going to sign out again, you guys. Deuces.
Recording stopped.